Hey everybody, it's Friday afternoon. We are going to pick up with the tasks from this morning. And what do we have to start with? I guess this one. Here we formulate. So update camera bounds when the window size changes. You can currently expand beyond the 1920 by 1080 and see gray on the right side of the world. Did I mean to say right side of the world? I think I might have meant left side of the world. Also, I guess we need a concept of locking the camera somewhere. May need the concept of locking the camera at a particular location, i.e. we store the location and update what the camera is looking at whenever the window size changes. Hey, Alton. Happy Friday. Happy Friday. I'm really happy when I open the game and look at this stuff and just kind of see how much progress we've made. And even just considering what we've done since the last 2 days, it's been pretty good. So yeah, this is what I was talking about. There's gray that can show up here. And I think you can shrink this such that you're not even looking at the right spot anymore. Yeah, well, I guess you're always looking at this spot. You can't shrink it beyond this. But still, this is kind of an issue. Finally Friday, yeah. So, all right, there are two different problems. Problem number one is, what do we do about something like this, where gray can show up over here? And I think we just need to, when you update the window size, we need to change the camera bounds. Hey, Sinistello. Just in time indeed. Did you just wake up? Yeah. All right, let's do this. So we have a window size changed, which is actually, I don't know what I called it, but update borders is what I called one of the things. Yeah, here it is. And we're going to put this into, I guess, the camera. We don't have a ready function, because why would we? But now we will. All right, window size changed. And what do we do when the window size changes? Hey, Darkstorm. When the window size changes, I guess we want to call update bounds. Yeah. All right, let's try that. See what happens. You shouldn't be able to see gray space now. Although I messed something up here. What, I forgot a semicolon? I did not forget a semicolon. Oh, I must have. Oh, I see. I was testing something earlier and just forgot to remove that. Okay, so now when I expand the size of the window, we should just see more of the world on the right. Yeah. When I shrink the size of the window. Okay, so we are technically moving the camera when we do this, so that if we keep expanding and then shrinking it, I think it'll just keep moving to the right. No, maybe that's not true. Oh, so it will stay centered where it is. Huh, interesting. I mean, I do want it centered on build guild, but I'm not sure if I just tested that correctly. I probably did. So if I just shrink this and never expand it, what does it focus on? No, that's what's wrong. Yeah. Okay, so I do need to set, I see what's going on. We are trying to center the camera on like actually this point here. I don't think this is an issue I should worry about because we don't know what the map's going to look like just yet. So I'm not super concerned about this. And we only use this feature once, so I'll just worry about it later. But we do need to look into this at some point. File a task for launching Make sure resizing the game window while the camera is locked during the new player experience doesn't ever let you get into a state where you can't see what you're supposed to see. I guess what we could do is we could just code this now, because it's, why not just code it now? Somewhere, yeah, we have this pan and zoom immediate. What we should do is we should call this like lock camera. Yeah, lock camera to this or something like that. So pan and zoom. We'll say public void lock camera center at vector 2, or just lock camera at current position. Yeah. So private vector 2 lock position. And we set it here. I guess global position. I'd like to make it so this doesn't have to be defined. And then somewhere we need to set whether you can use the camera. I guess is wherever we set cam player move to true, which is here. Camera dot unlock. Yeah, I think that's pretty reasonable. In fact, maybe our pan immediate should just be something that locks it immediately. It doesn't really matter though. But lock at current position is a better name for this. And then public void unlock. So we'll set this to null. And let's set cam player move to true here too. Yeah. Maybe this doesn't need to be public anymore. Yeah, it might not need to be. Can player move will be false. Now, is this ever used outside of this class? Nope. So we can make it private now. Private pool. Actually, what happens if you set both of these to private? Does it just complain? And what if I do this? No, that works. Okay. Now, what's the problem with this? Unused private field? Yeah, I just haven't used it yet. Okay, so whenever we update the bounds, we potentially need to pan and zoom immediate to this. If this has value, then pan and zoom. Actually just set the global position, yeah. Hey, Jonathan. Hola. Okay, I think this will work. So here's what I expect to have happen. We're gonna see the same view we've always been seeing when we open the game, but then when I shrink the game window, it should focus on the sign. So let's see if that's the case. It seemed to not do that. I think I know why it's not doing that though. Where do we lock this? Oh yeah, I know what we do. What we're doing is we're locking it to the position that we ended up getting. Wait, no, this doesn't respect the boundaries. What is this focusing on? Negative 1050? Where is that? Negative 1050. Oh, that's the problem. I'm centering over here. Oh, I just need to center on the sign, I guess. Which is negative 640. Yeah, that's pretty close. Negative 640, 135. There. And I think I want to say lock at position. And I just want to pass this in. I don't know. No, I do want to do that. lock at. There. Okay, now I'll pass these things in and delete this. Call pan and zoom immediate. Set the lock position equal to the position that was passed in. Can player move is false. And then what do I need to do after this? I'm forgetting something. I don't know. Oh, the town changes. Those will just happen anyway. Let's make sure this works though. So yeah, now we're focused on this. No matter how I move this window, it should always still be focused on exactly that. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to expand it to like a huge amount. Just keep expanding the window here. Yeah, it's still focused on build guild. Oh, it's a little bit hard to tell because this window is gigantic. Oh, I guess we're going to eventually expand it so much that it won't be centered anymore because there isn't anything else off the left side of the world. But yes, this should be working. All right, cool. So then when we actually build the guild, now we should be able to move the camera again. Good. And there we have it. All right, so that was one problem that I wanted to fix. Oh, darn it. There's another problem here. Something is consuming mouse clicks. Oh, so many problems to fix. Looks good. Yeah. Allow for locking the camera properly. When resizing the window, if the camera was locked, it will continue to look at the position it was locked to. Yeah, so there's that. The next problem is that I continually break these mouse events. Where is this? Instances manager. All right, what's this set to? Mouse is set to ignore. Mouse is set to pass, and ignore. We need to, I think we can just set it to ignore. I'm not actually sure. Might be a different problem somehow, but let's see. I think that fixed it. I think that's the only thing I had to change. So if I set this back to pass, this is going to break. Yes. Okay, well, that was easy. Let's make sure it's not actually breaking anything. So yes, we can definitely pan from here. But if we have multiple instances, yeah, we can still drag. Cool. Fix mouse input. What was that called? The center container was consuming the events, so you weren't able to drag the camera from the town. Drag the camera, use it from the bottom of the screen. At the bottom of the screen, from the bottom of the screen. Something like that. Okay, next problem is that you might have the game window set so large that the camera is always out of bounds. Like, the world is only so big. So what happens if your game window is larger than the world is? And if we build the guild, you can zoom out to this much. You can actually see it's not so large. So if I had double the window size, in fact, I could probably get double the window size by just doing this, right? Yes. And then we run into a problem. So I'm guessing this is probably spewing errors everywhere. Yes, it is. No, we don't need to make a bigger map. Although I do need to think what's going to happen when we're in that state. So build this, zoom out. Wait a sec, what? Why can't I see more of this now? I guess I needed to start in a different resolution than I end up at. Interesting. Yeah, I think that's what that means. So that's the only way I can repro this bug. Well, I could just make a smaller map, I guess. But yeah, I start like this, build this, zoom out, change my resolution, and then increase the game window size. Yeah. All right, so now that I've got a picture of it, let's go back to that. Okay, what should happen in this case? And I mean, I think there's only one answer. Well, there are two answers. There are only two things we can do. What should happen when the game world is smaller than the window? Option number one is show blank space. Option number two is change the minimum zoom so that the world, I'll change the minimum zoom so that the world becomes bigger. I'll just put that in quotes. I don't want to explain this completely. Option number three is like, well, maybe option number 1B be something like show randomly generated map that isn't accessible anyway. I think the blank space thing is probably fine. I think another option here is, yeah, make a bigger map. That's kind of like option 1B. Let me think about this. Most people will just never see this. Right? Well, I don't know if I can say right to that. I'm not sure. How do you show that this generated map isn't accessible? Oh, what I mean by not accessible is if you take a look at the current map, like there's stuff over here. And if you go down to this part, there's nothing. There's nothing to do here. So if we just kept generating like random trees off the edge of the map, they'd just be random trees. I guess that's what I'm trying to say. Like you don't choose where you build. There's got to be a signpost for you to build somewhere. And it's not a bad idea, because only the people who actually need to see that, we just generate an endless forest. And it's not even like that needs to be smart generation. It just needs to be something to fill a blank space. I actually don't mind that as an idea. The only issue that would make that a little bit tough is that we couldn't have trees that go off the map, which I guess we don't right now. Like imagine if this tree were just 2 tiles higher. You'd see this the stump of the tree, but not the rest of it. And when you sort of zoom out, we'd need to know that that tree existed. You can't cross the river, or can you with that bridge? There's no concept of you moving manually. So like your characters only ever follow a set path. So even if we drew a bridge going over here or over here. Oh, wait. Oh, customers, though. We were thinking of having them come in from the side of the map. Okay, I guess that could be a problem. But we could just generate the endless forest off to the right and the bottom. Yeah. How about for now, let's just have it be blank space. I don't think this is super concerning. And even to have it be blank space is not going to be the easiest thing to do, because we need to figure out. Let me do something here. Let's set map bounds. So map bounds is a rectangle. What if we just divide this by 2? You can't do that. Map bounds dot size equals that. Okay, try that out. Generate a covered bridge. Well, the important part, what I'm saying here is what's going on? Yeah, okay, good. This is working. What I was saying is that bridge, like, we're kind of picturing that there's some giant rectangle here, right? So it looks sort of like this. This is the world. The problem is when the game window is bigger than this world, then all of a sudden this world has a bunch of padding around it. So if there was a bridge right here, then this bridge now looks like there's a bunch of blank space to the side of it. So we would instead need to like anchor the world to the left and generate a bunch of blank space over here. So now all of this is where we generate a forest or something. Oh, I see. Okay. I get it. Yeah. So you're saying in the blank space to the left, the bridge is like there's a bunch of bridges here. Well, bridge tiles or something, and they're covered, so you can't tell that a customer had to walk through the whole thing. Yeah, I get you. Yeah, that could work. But anyway, I think let's just figure out the blank space thing for right now. We need to not lock the camera at the beginning. Lock, just delete that. Cross countries with this kind of bridge, yeah. Okay, so now, oh, we can't zoom out. Why can't I zoom out? I'm no longer locking the camera. I can pan, I just can't zoom. Oh, wait, there we go. Oh, this is a bug. It's a bug with figuring out the zoom index. This set zoom. I guess now we never call set zoom. So what does the zoom start at? Well, I don't know. What does the zoom start at? Where is the camera? Oh, there it is. What is your zoom level? 3. Oh, that's why. Okay, let's just start you at 1. Problem solved. Unnecessarily big secondary tile map with just grass, and you still lock the camera to the main one so you don't have that empty space. Yeah, that's something we could do. I don't want that to be in memory unless someone actually needs that there. And that's why I think I'd rather just dynamically generate a bunch of grass, and it can just be a random pattern. Alternatively, we could just like place trees every so often. It could be a sparse forest. Or we could apply some real generation logic to it. I don't know. So this is going to cause a whole bunch of issues. Yeah. And I want to figure out what these issues are and then just fix them. Let's go up to the, why is this not working? There we go. Coming from 142. Yeah. So we can't clamp to these positions. And when you can't clamp, I guess we just don't let you move the camera and we try centering it. What is argument exception? I see. Yeah. The Halloween reskins? I mean, we should generate like pumpkin patches? So yeah, this clamp won't work. But we would know as soon as we generated the bounds that this wouldn't work. Dead grass, dead trees. Get tile map bounds. Is this in pixels? Yes, it is. Okay. How do I want to do this then? When our game window is bigger than our game world, then you can't reposition the camera. Yeah, I guess. Or you could, we just keep increasing the bounds until, hang on, let me look at that picture again. In this case, I guess what we could do is let you move it anywhere such that you can't obscure any part of the map. Yeah, that makes sense. All right, so how do we do that? Let's figure it out. There's update bounds, get viewport size. Oh, we save off the map bounds. Oh, this should be pretty doable then. So if viewport size, is there like a get area or something like that? What is viewport size? Is a vector. So I guess we just multiply the two components anyway. I mean, we might need to update the bounds in either dimension. Can't you just recheck if the camera is within the tile map after zooming out? Yeah, but what I'm trying to say is the only options we really have for something like this if we, because I'm coding the blank space option. So I'm gonna have it let you show blank space, but just not error constantly. And in that case, I don't want to force you into a zoom level of 2 or 3 or 4 or something like that. So if the viewport size dot x is greater than the bounds dot x, then I guess bounds dot x, bounds equals new, bounds is a rectangle. Can I just change the size? Yeah. Now, why is that a problem? Rect2 does not contain, oh yeah, size.x. All right, I guess the same thing with this. We could just use math.max. But for now, let's just take the x's and turn them to y's. And this would be bounds.size.y and then viewport size.y. There. All right, let's try that out. No, it's still erroring like crazy. Maybe the position is wrong as well. Position should always be 0, 0 though. Oh, that should have been x. Not quite what I wanted, but at least you can't go off the upper left of the map. You can only go off the bottom right of the map. Map bounds that size minus viewport size. And then size equals new vector 2, mat.max, size.x, viewport size.x. Okay. This should be the exact same code I just had. So then I just need to figure out why we're able to go off the bottom right. Yeah, it is the same code. And if I zoom in, then we don't have this problem. No, we do still have this problem. Well, well, well. Time to print some of these things. Oh, we need to subtract. That's all. Yeah, what am I doing? Of course. We originally took the map bounds at size and subtracted the viewport size divided by the current zoom level. I am not zoomed in right now, so this is going to be 1. So let's just not consider that for right now. Map bounds dot size. All right, let's print out map bounds as well. There. Okay, what do we have? Oh, the map bounds can be negative. Oh. Okay. So it barely goes into the positive dimension. This ends at 1300. No, that doesn't make sense. A rectangle has position and size. No, that doesn't make sense at all. Negative, yeah, that value is what it should be, negative 1072. That is roughly there, yeah. And then 1200 and 24. Doesn't make sense at all. Does that make sense? No, I don't know. I don't know why that is the way that it is. How are we computing the map bounds? Get used rect and just multiply the size by that. Yeah, I don't know. I guess let's print out the map bounds in tiles. That should just be like in the low number of hundreds for that. What is it set to? Map bounds in tiles. 153 tiles wide. I have no idea if that's accurate. It probably is. Ah, we can finally see map coordinates now. Okay, so negative 67, negative 41. That's what we see there. And then 153 tiles wide. Should have zoomed out. 85. Yeah, that's correct. Because 85 plus 67 is 152. Well, so then why are the pixel coordinates wrong? They can't be wrong. Ah, it's so confusing. Negative 67 times 16. Negative 67 plus 153 times 16. 1376. Which then adding 1072 would be 2448. Oh, which is double what this is. That can't be a coincidence. Oh, but why? Where is a 2x factor coming in here? Maybe the scale factor? 0.5 zoom. I don't think the camera comes into play here though, because I can zoom to whatever level and these guidelines are going to be different. Let's just take a look. This is ending at about 1350. If I change the scale factor, does that change the grid here? No, it doesn't. How do you do math in VS Code? That's with VS Code eval. I've got a video with some links there to all the extensions that I use. Well, not all of them, but the ones I thought people would be interested in. I don't know why this is the case. I don't know what's going on here. The bounds are correct in tiles. So then I multiply by 16. Everything should still be correct. But somehow it's off. Is each tile actually 16 pixels? Look at just this flower. Yeah, I guess. I don't know. It's kind of hard to tell. I need something that's exactly one tile. We have like, yeah, these will be very obvious. This goes from 97 to, oh, that's not 97. It's 96 to 112. Yeah, 16 tiles or 16 pixels. Oh my God, why am I having such a hard time doing basic math? Where is that 2x thing coming from? Size of it. I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. All right, well, let's not worry about that. Just figure out what this is supposed to be. So the maximum we should be able to go over in the world is here. Which is our new bounds minus the viewport width. Oh, yeah, okay. I just need to subtract this. Size, so minus viewport size dot x divided by zoom dot y. Actually, it doesn't matter whether you divide by x or y, they're always kept in sync. Minus viewport size dot y divided by zoom dot y. Okay, I think that'll do it. And then we just change this line to not take this into account twice, excuse me. Let's try that out. No, now I can't move this at all. There needs to be some amount that I can move this by. Yeah, I guess I should still be able to move 700 pixels. No, this is wrong. Yeah, this is wrong. The size needs to be multiplied by the scaling factor. I think that's where... No. Oh, God. Yeah, I don't know. I'm just still going to multiply by the scaling factor. It's probably just going to work. And we're going to try to figure out what in the world's going on here. Where'd that code go? Here it is. It thinks the viewport size is 1920 by 1052. Can you print the size after calculation? Yeah, I can. What I just want to multiply this by? The map bound size times this. This is only that I don't understand. This might fix everything, but I don't understand why we need to do this. I've got to figure that out. Yeah, nice. Okay, so that works now. And if we zoom in, it still works. Okay, yeah, I mean, everything's working, but why? Oh my God, wait. I multiplied everything by half here. Oh my God, that's why the 2x. I just wanted to test out what happens if the map is too small. Oh, I'm an idiot. Oh, we can delete that. Oh, man. It's really stupid. It's really, really stupid. Okay, I'm going to just randomly delete parts of the map here because I don't want to keep resizing the window. So let's delete all of this. Why did that not work? How do I... This is what I want. I want to make a rectangle. Man, I do not know what I'm doing. I guess I need this and this. Yeah, so that probably works, and I just need to actually be deleting a section of the map. Great. Now, how do you wipe out an entire rectangle? Whoa, I did not know that was possible. This is not what I'm trying to do either, but how do you delete this? Select rectangle and right click. Ah, thank you. Okay, delete everything. Goodbye. Goodbye map. That should have been everything, but I guess the trees are separate and the trees don't even count. So let's test that out now. Also, hey, Ski. Ski, the Risk of Rain 2 reviews are getting worse and worse. What game engine is that? It is Godot. And welcome in, Emily. Okay, I think this is working. So now if we expand the size of this, what happens? Nice. So there's just, you'll just have blank space for now. And maybe ideally this gets centered, which we should be able to do. They fixed the profile and progress reset. Wait, people just lost all of their progress. Oh my God, in a game like Risk of Rain 2. It's so bad. Yeah, I'm gonna wait a bit before I play it. So if we want to keep this centered, then we would do something like this. If... Does this work? You know what? I'm just going to assume that that works and that this knows what I want to do. It looks right. Guest account would overwrite the main account. Oh man, that is rough. Okay, that is not quite what I wanted. We're changing the position. Map bounds opposition x plus map bounds size. I don't think we want to do this. I think we just always want to set the position equal to the size divided by 2. I'm not positive. And then we probably want to change the bounds by some amount as well. Yeah, Risk of Rain 2 just had new DLC drop, and it's buggy for some people, I guess. Okay, this is closer to what I want. I think I want to set this to negative. And then I think I want to change the bounds as well. Size.x. No, the size would be the same. Yeah, it's just the position that would change. I probably need to subtract and not set equal to, although this might coincidentally work. No, it does not coincidentally work. Centering this is not that important. So if I can't figure this out, that's not the end of the world. And this was only if the size is less than the viewport size. What do we have right now? It's not less than that. So that none of this code should come into play. But if this code doesn't come into play, then that means that we'd be in a working state. Yeah, we are in a working state now. Yeah, the only thing I'm trying to fix right now is when this thing is too large, the whole window, I mean, is too large, that instead of having all the blank space be on the right and the bottom of the screen, so this is really hard to show, but yeah, all of this is on the right side of the screen, and if I could somehow move the window up more easily, which I don't even know how to do, then I'd be able to show you a bunch of blank space on the bottom of the screen too. But I was thinking, what if we centered that? And I'm not easily able to do that, but it should just be changing the position of this. Viewport size is like way bigger. The map bounds. What is the position that we're using? Map bounds position plus viewport size divided by 2 divided by zoom. Oh, I think we just subtracted this. Yeah. And then same thing here and just change these to Y. I'm going to try that. It's doing this even when the viewport size shouldn't need this to happen. Also, I guess it should be divided by 4 maybe. Let me see what's going on with this. Size is 1952. Oh, but that's before I did this change. So the map bounds never changed. So we just need to print this out after. Yeah. Okay, so now we're going to find a value that is less than what I thought it was. It's 32, which means we can move by 32 pixels. Yes. Okay, so what we care about was this. The map bounds dot size is less than this. Yeah. Map bounds dot size dot x is less than the viewport size x, and map bounds dot size dot y. All right, in this case, what we want is we want to take the difference and we want to change. Let's see, what are we setting as the position here? I never print the position, do I? No, I don't. I need to print that. And then let's just cut this out for right now. I think I know what I need to do. That wasn't clear to me until I realized I was modifying the size. Okay, so in this case, it's negative 112, negative 130, but we have some leeway. If I made this larger, so now we have an extra like 150 or 160 pixels. And I want to take the difference of that and subtract it from the position. Yeah, That's all. Okie dokie. So position.x minus equal viewport size.x minus map bounds.size.x divided by 2. Okay, same thing down here. Actually, yeah, I can probably just do that. Yep. All right, did we finally get it? So this looks good. This looks good, but now what happens when the window is too big? It is hopefully centered now. Yeah, looks like it is. If I expand it up here too, I guess we need to like really expand this. Yeah, and then Mac OS just like snaps it anyway for me. Yeah, so I can't really do that, can I? We would need to delete parts of the world. All right, let's delete all this. Too bad there's no way to delete every single layer at once. Yeah, that should do it. Maybe there's a way to do that. All right, so now we should just be able to expand this a little bit. Still making a fool out of me. All right, let's just change the resolution. That'll do it. Now we can easily change the size of this. Yep, and it looks centered. That's all. That's all I wanted to do. Oh, wait, this is still busted, right? Although that might have to do with the resolution change I made right in the middle. It's so hard to tell. I think we're just going to delete more of the map. Oh, man. I'm just trying to get rid of enough of this. Because it's just so hard to change the window size to be taller than it should be. Yeah, there. I really want to move on from this, but... Okay, there we go. So now as I change the window size, we're in good shape. Not quite. We're still able to see this blank space. But when the window size isn't big enough, you shouldn't be able to. Map bounds.size, viewport size. Oh, the map bounds need to take the zoom into account. So this is divided by zoom.x. Whoa, wait, though. If I don't zoom in then, and then shrink this. Ah, yes. So I just need to take zoom into account. Okay. Now let's divide this by zoom.y. Gonna hate to debug this function in the future. All right, now are we looking good at least? So when I zoom in, perfect. Oh, wait, what's going on off the bottom of this? It's a bunch of blank space I can see. Viewport size. This shouldn't be taken into account anymore. Is this code being hit? It shouldn't be. No, it must be getting hit then. But how? Viewport size divided by zoom. Yeah, when I had zoomed in, I could still scroll and see blank space. Why is that? 526. Map bounds at size.y. 768. It's not less than 526. I don't see what's wrong. Well, I guess let's debug this. And then just shrink the window by like a pixel. There we go. All right, so the size of this is 768. This is 1052 divided by 2. So we shouldn't go into this code. We don't. So wait a second then. What's messing up about this? It's allowing me to see more than I should be able to see. I guess it means that this size is wrong. Yeah, it must be that. Let's put a breakpoint there. Okay, so our original value is 768. We've got a viewport of just less than 1080. And we're going to take the maximum of these two things, which is going to end up being the viewport. Oh, this needs to have this already multiplied because we're zoomed in. Oh my God. This is so confusing. All the viewport stuff. It's like we need our zoomed viewport pretty much every time we use viewport variables, right? We divide by zoom here. Is there anywhere we use viewport size and we don't divide by the zoom afterward? No, we only ever care about it in terms of zoom. So it's the effective viewport. Yeah, and now maybe this works. But geez, what a mess. I've always found this to be tough though, even in code other people have written. It's just when dealing with different coordinate spaces, coming up with names for all the coordinate spaces and then keeping them straight in your mind is very difficult. Okay, yeah, this is finally working. You can't go off the bounds of this stuff. And if we increase the window size, it should just stay centered. There we go, yep. We did it. We did it. Okay, good. So this code works. Let's copy paste it into another buffer because I'm about to try to change it and make it look a little bit nicer. Is it a dictionary? Yeah. Well, actually, it's a set of arrays, I think. And if any word is detected in one of these, it just cycles amongst that array. So here's a good example of the days of the week. So if I type something like Monday, I can toggle it to all the other days. It's pretty nice. So viewport size in world. What does this actually represent? This is the camera bounds, essentially. Camera bounds. There's probably a better name for that. So now anywhere that we divide by that, we can just say camera bounds divided by 2, sure. This can be camera bounds.x, camera bounds.y. All right, this is looking a lot cleaner. Yeah. Now this we actually do use the viewport size for. Okay, so the code should still work. We can delete all of this stuff. There's an X to Y toggle. One of the problems is that depending on where you are in the position of a word, it might toggle it in the wrong way. So for example, about or out turns to in. But if you have the word about and you hover over the out part of it, it'll turn it into a bin because it's just trying to find the first possible toggle. So the order you have in this file matters. And sometimes you don't have a toggle for something and you don't realize you don't have a toggle and then it does something like what you just saw. All right, are we looking good still? Please just tell me yes, because I don't want to keep working on this. Is it my comp file? It's in my settings file. So just settings.json. I just put it in here. And it just looks like this. I'll copy one of these in. That way you can just copy paste it if you want to. This was quite rough. Yeah, quite rough. But I think we ended up in a good spot. Alibi, thanks for resubbing. Adam Party. Now, I think anyone who ends up, let's say your monitor is this large, that the game world is not big enough. I hope you'll just zoom in. And I hope you're not bothered by it or anything. Actually, yeah, ChatGPT probably could generate that list. All right, let's go check this garbage in. It's actually fine. The code is fine. It's just, it took me a long time to get to this. Oh, right. No, definitely don't check in the change to the town. I deleted like the entire world. So revert that, but keep the other things. All right, if map bounds that size, so if the map is smaller than what the camera can see, then just center the map in the camera. Yeah. And what does this do here? Yeah, this is the same general thing. The map is smaller than what the camera can see. Then what are we doing here? We're using the larger the boundaries. I think that's fine. Well, no. I have to use the camera boundaries so that mat.clamp doesn't keep producing errors. Okay, we're good. This doesn't need to be checked in, so just put this back to what it was. So all we're doing is changing the camera, and we don't need this either. How can you tell if it's smaller? So in this case, it truly is just a comparison of two numbers. So like you could just do a less than. I happen to have a mat.max here, but here it is just a comparison. So what we're showing off, this is effectively like this scenario. Imagine that this is your game window. So like you're on a really large monitor, right? And the game world is just smaller than the map. In that case, we're just going to center the map like this, and you won't be able to pan the camera. Then in the other case, where the game world is bigger than the window, which is probably in most people, that's going to be the scenario, then you should be able to pan the camera to here. But if you pan it any farther, it would show you blank space. So that's what that code is doing. That's why we have this update bounds thing here. And a lot of this didn't matter too much before because we always counted on everyone having the same resolution of game window, but that causes issues if you have different monitor sizes. And we're not okay with, like, if you watch, what is it? If I look up like DVD letterboxing. Okay, so look at something like this, right? Oh, this is a video. Okay, well, whatever. Let me just take a picture of this so that I can zoom in on it a little bit. All right, so if you look at something like this, these black bars while you're watching a movie are not so distracting. But imagine if you were playing a game and the game window was only as big as like this. So now half the screen is just black bars. It'd be really bad. And that's what, if we kept the same resolution everywhere, what we'd end up seeing. All right, so what do we do here? Fix problem with camera when game window, large game windows, I guess I'll say. When the camera can see more than the entirety of the world, there would be mat.clamp errors. I now center the world in the blank space, and in the future we could expand the map so that there's no blank space. Okay. Might as well push the default background color. I'm not super concerned about this right now, only because I think the gray is helpful in indicating that there is blank space. And in the future, I think we'll probably want to get rid of any blank space people can see. But I'm not going to worry about that yet. All right, so both of these things are done. And I will say to file a task to never show blank space for the map. We could just make very, very large maps with nothing of interest on the borders. But then we need to clamp the map boundaries, something very small for most players, so that they don't see endless blank space. Well, endless, like, forests, for example. I don't want them to get lost either. Okay, next, consider moving some of show and a battle screen in an instance slot, adding the areas where you would battle into the world. What I generally want to have happen in this game is I always want the battles to be in your face, not the battles, but the areas. Oh, you're saying like you can do battle in the dungeon, for example. Ooh, this is broken. And there's no way to close it now. Oh, man. Yeah, seeing the volcano or the dungeons, I think that'd be okay, but a lot of the times it would just be for flavor, and it would make it so that you could pan the camera over to there. So we ran into an issue with the very first iteration of this game where there were no camera boundaries. So you could just keep dragging the camera up and up and up and up, and it's pretty much just like what you see over here. You could just keep panning this, and you could be at like a negative 9,000. And when that happened, people didn't know how to get back to the world. It's like, okay, whoops, I accidentally held down the left arrow. Like, do I go back this way? Like, how far over is the world? So if we had the volcano, the dungeon, etc., you'd need to be able to pan somewhere to see them. And ideally, there'd be some way for you to get back to what you wanted to look at easily. But I don't think it would provide a lot of value. Yeah. If there were an easy way to fit it in, I think it's a cool idea. Yeah, a hotkey to move the camera back. So a hotkey would work if people knew it, but most people probably aren't going to go seek out, like, how do I fix the camera? And if the game doesn't tell you how, you might just be like, I got into a buggy state in the first 10 minutes of playing. I'm not going to keep playing this game. I think the patience level of players that I saw during Botland is generally pretty low. And that's why I think you really need to make sure the new player experience is good for any game. So this is a problem. It's a problem that I thought I already fixed. Let me try that one more time. Although I'm sure it's still going to be a problem. In fact, I wonder what happens. Can you keep these things off the screen? Yes, you can. That's another problem. Oh, man. Okay, it's possible to show the start instance dialog and then resize the window so that it's no longer visible. It should be able to put itself back on the screen. First time user experience, yeah. Yeah, and a lot of modern games, I feel like they almost go overboard with this. And they're like, okay, we're going to hold your hand for everything. Like, we're going to make you click this button right now, and we're going to have you spend this money on this stuff, and that way you get the experience of what it's like. And for people who can kind of figure things out on their own, it's a little too much. What's the game about? The game is about selling stuff. Let me just finish writing this and I can show you. All right. It's also possible to enter this state just by clicking grant all things and then trying to start a battle. Yeah, Fatui. Yeah, so this game is about starting a town. So you then hire your first adventurer and you'll start a battle with that adventurer. The game's very like casual, laid back. A lot of things happen automatically. So battles are just taking place without your input. And when you win the battle, you'll get out of this portal an item or two. There we go. And then your character will go pick it up. And then you can build your shop. And when you have the shop, then your character has a destination to put it so that the item can be sold. And then customers will start flooding out of this portal. And then go buy your items. And you use the money to upgrade your town, upgrade your adventurers. So you can eventually hire more people and get into bigger battles and, you know, apply skill points to them and everything. Hey, Laren. A tutorial for returning players. Actually, a lot of games do that now too. I was just talking about this the other day, but like the old Zelda games, it's really, really hard to play Zelda for like a week and then leave it for a month and then come back and know what you're supposed to do. But newer games, a lot of times they have like a repeat dialogue option or a hint character that will always tell you, oh, here's what you were doing and here's what you need to do, so that you don't get stuck. Okay. Yeah, we got to figure out some of these issues. Yes, you won. You did win. You won 100 points gone. Man, all right, let's try this. Yeah, I'm going to skip the breaks probably because it's Friday. Maybe that's a dumb idea. So yeah, how is this possible? How is this happening? The dialogue goes off the top of the screen. Maybe the instance list doesn't exist at that point. Most of the time I'm lost with the controls. Actually, a lot of games do have a controls menu or something to try to refresh your memory. Some games, I guess, have harder controls than others, but usually that helps. And it refreshes your memory on what the functions are that you can even do. Okay, so position a mouse. We get the combined minimum size here. Let's print this out. And then the position, and try to clamp this to the viewport. And this one's in screen coordinates? Probably. Yes, it's in screen coordinates. So it just must mean that it's got the wrong size. If we do this times 4, for example, what's that going to do? It's going to mess up because it's going to go off the screen in the other direction. Let's just add 4 then, or add 2. Yeah. I just want to get this to the point where it's invisible so I can measure it. Okay, thanks, Laren. Yeah. Glad to be of help. Okay, there it is. Now, what's the size of this dialogue? It is about 400 pixels tall. And what does the code think it is? 352. This was happening earlier. Man, none of this should be happening. Especially because this code should only be called after we wait a frame. Oh no, that's edit battle party. Wait. No, maybe we don't do this correctly then. Do we have another show here somewhere? Player wants to start battle. It doesn't position it at the mouse though. There must be another position at mouse thing. It's private though. It's literally only here. Oh man. All right, let's put a breakpoint there. Is that what's getting hit? No, it's not. What's positioning that then? I don't know. I think start battle button, here it is. On click is player wants to start battle. Player wants to start battle, here it is. Oh, I see, we show it there and then position a mouse. Okay, so this should be position a mouse on next frame. Okay, I think that'll fix it. And if that does fix it, then great, where everything's totally fine and that works exactly how I'd expect. And this is just a minor oversight from earlier. If this doesn't fix it, then I'm gonna launch myself into another investigation for longer than I want to. So we just need to fix this back to what it was. All right, let's try it out. Please work. Good. Whew, minor oversight. All right, that problem is solved. We have one more problem to solve for this though. Fix bug with start instance dialog. I wasn't calling the correct positioning function. So when the dialog was tall, it could go off the top right of the screen. Actually, only off the top of the screen, I think. Off the screen. I'll just say off the screen. Doesn't really matter where. Just matters it could go off the screen. Next is that regardless of this is now correctly positioned, but as soon as you resize the window, it's gone. And there's no way for you to click that dialog now. So we're gonna have to go fix that next. Window size changed. Let's put this in the ready of start instance. Put this here. Okay, so we can't do position at mouse, but what we could do is position it where it currently is and just clamp it to that. So instead of mouse position, just set it to its current position. Yeah, there. There. Let's try that. If that works, then great. Does it also work with the edit party button? Yeah, the edit party button was the one I had fixed earlier. I hadn't fixed the other one. All right, so we click this and now we resize. Look at that. It's beautiful. Now that does mean that it can get stuck in the middle of the screen. I don't really care about that because there is a close button on this. So worst case scenario, you resize the window and you're like, why is this in the middle? But it's not such a big deal. But at least now when you snap to half view or something like that, it'll work. The other thing we could do is just always put this in the same spot on the screen. But I'm not very concerned about this for right now. Yeah, I could anchor it to the top right. The thing is, this could spawn from different places. So for example, in here, we could click edit party. I forgot I put a breakpoint there. We can click edit party and then resize the window. Although, excuse me, I guess you could anchor it to the bottom or something then. And we could just keep track of where we should have it anchored. But I'm not, like I said, I'm not super concerned about this. All right, so that'll fix that. Ensure start instance dialog stays on screen. Looks good. Oh, I should probably amend that and say how you could get in that situation. Amend, undo last command. Here we go. It was possible when you resized the screen that it would no longer be accessible. Great. All right, next. Rename instance slot to use to slot ID to use. Rename slot number to, okay, yeah, this looks dead simple to do. What if the game resolution is smaller than the window? The game resolution is smaller than the window. Oh, I think I see what you're talking about. That's what we did earlier. So the town works. If you're talking about for that dialogue, by the way, that is this. When you increase the size, it should be fine. And even the world map now, when you increase the size of the window, it'll just show blank space on the sides. That's what we did earlier. All right, so slot number is going to be called what exactly? Slot ID. There we go. And then anywhere we have the word slot number, I guess we should go change, huh? Yeah, slot ID. What? This one just didn't get updated? That's weird. Yeah, that's really weird. Should have updated it everywhere because I used the refactor feature. Anything else? Instance slot to use to be slot ID to use. Instance slot ID to use. All right, how's that work? All I did is rename a bunch of variables. So as long as it doesn't crash, I think we're fine. We should probably speed this up and try repeating battles though. Yeah, it looks like it's working. Grant the cleric, start a battle there. I guess as you modify that dialogue, it could go off screen. Should probably prevent that. What question did I miss? Oh, Atlas PR review. Yes. Yes, we can take a look at that. All right, I'll stop what I'm doing and work on that. Rename slot number. It used to just be an index from 0 to 2, but now it's an ID. I don't even think it's worth reviewing these changes. They're all just the word number changed to ID, right? Yeah. Yeah, looks good. Nope, that's not the one I did. I did this one. All right, let's go look at some PRs. PR adds correct auto tiles for drawing the terrain and instance environment. Provided Atlas will be updated in the future once I decide to add new terrains. Drawing with a different terrain set on existing tiles will not cause the tiles to auto-connect. Change the order of at least one terrain layer. The painted patterns for drawing terrain will break and mix. Oh man, that's rough. Make things easier. I group the sprites that can be drawn together without a broken border. So one requirement though, the tile map has to be filled with a tile that all sprites connect to. I don't think I understand this. Tile map has to be filled with a tile that all sprites connect to. Oh, I think I see. Okay, yeah. Just a bunch of auto tiles. Notice that the current top right grass sand tile exists on terrain set 0, was placed under instance tiles. Okay. What's the purpose of the game? Will it be like Botland where you're going to find a monetization system? Oh, it's going to be a one-time purchase kind of game. If that's what you mean by the purpose of like, why am I making it? Well, actually, that doesn't really fully explain why I'm making it, I guess. I wanted to make this game regardless, but I'm trying to learn from the mistakes I made making Botland. For those who have never heard of this, Botland is a game I was streaming from like 2015 to 2020, and I was working on this for like 5 years. And this game was very complex. You wrote scripts for bots, and you could either use this visual language or you could write literal JavaScript, and then your bots would follow those and they'd just be automated in battle. It was launched on Steam, Android, iOS. It's just the scope was nuts, and it didn't do very well. And I think if I were to say what the biggest problems were, for one, it was, there was scope and complexity, and no like great entry to the game, I guess, as a result of that, because you can have a complex game and just teach people correctly. I think the other thing is the just general like monetization plan. And I think the other thing would be how I pursued the game. It was more for fun than for business. And this is not a problem if you're intentionally trying to learn, or you're trying to make a game for fun, or you're in a game jam or something like that. You can spend 10 years making a game, and it doesn't mean you messed up if you're pursuing it for fun. The problem with pursuing a game for fun, if you're trying to make money, is that you're not going to prioritize things in the way that will actually make money. So a lot of times you'll spend time on what's fun and not what needs to be done. And sometimes you'll, take a week refactoring code when that code could just be bad and live forever. There are a lot of decisions you make when that happens. So yeah, with Skeleseller, I think you can see a lot of these very obviously, like it's a single player game. That on its own already cuts out a gigantic layer of problems, right? Multiplayer games need balance. You typically need some infrastructure hosting this stuff. You need to, there's just a lot more code you have to write. It is, because there are really no online features. That sort of plays into the infrastructure stuff. It's not self-hosted. And what else? I guess just the scope is smaller. And it's also just like a more understandable game, I'd say. So yeah, you can see these things right off the bat, but what might not be as obvious is how I'm pursuing this stuff. Like, I have tried to be organized about this. We have this project here, and it says what's currently being worked on. I'm trying to prioritize things. I'm trying to make sure we're not just doing stuff for fun. So it's day 44 and a half, and we've got a good amount of gameplay, and we're almost done finalizing some of the systems, I feel. So I'm pretty satisfied with the progress. Okay, so the only changes here are just tile sets. Yeah, I'm fine with this. Cool. Cool. Yeah, thank you, Darkstorm. All right, so consider moving some of show end of battle screen. Let's go take a look. What can we move out of here? Because why does this even exist here? How many people work on the game? There are 3 people working on the game. Myself, Darkstorm, who's just posting right above you, and then Quickie Joe, who's working on the artwork. The artwork is actually kind of split in 2. There's the graphics that we had from asset packs, like the items themselves. So these were made by someone I'd never even met in my life, and I bought these like a decade ago. And then the assets that exist for the world, for example, these were also made by someone I've never met in my life. And then these, the characters for the game that are specific to Skeleseller, were made by Quickie Joe. So these characters, some of the battle animations, the worker, this is the new paladin character we want to add in, and the enemies. And I mean, there will be more. I posted in Discord actually pretty recently. Let me show you something. For anyone who hasn't seen this, I am super happy with the general logo work. So this is going to be something like this will be the Steam page listing. And I love the artwork on this. I think it's amazing. there were a few different styles. So there's this one with the horizontal logo. This is not the finished logo, but it's just a sort of layout mock-up. And then this one where the logo is a little bit bigger than the character. But I love this. I think it looks great. I also really like the portal in the background. Like this portal was actually just a placeholder that we have in the game, which I don't know if I have a picture of it open. No, I don't. But yeah, I really like it. Why does the girl with pink hair have a pink pixel outside of the black pixel line of hair? I'm not sure what you're talking about. Oh, this one? I don't know. But I think it's probably not even really noticeable in the game. Yeah, I see what you're talking about. Let me see. Where is she? Why can't I find her? Oh, I didn't hire her. That's why. There. I think the characters move fast enough where it's not really obvious or anything. I'm trying to see if it looks unusual to me at all. Let's capture her while she's moving upward. Oh no, you're supposed to go up. Oh no, I didn't have it ready. Come on, move up again. Okay, cool. Yeah. I captured the wrong frame. Yeah, I'm not sure. I don't think it's really a problem though. Yeah. Well, the 44 days of work, it's been 44 stream days. I have done days of work outside of that. And it's been like 4 calendar months, I think, since we started. I think it was like April that we started working on this. Yeah, April something. And technically, even before that, it was a different game altogether called Idle Ascendance. This was really just the battle system of the game. And this was cobbled together as quickly as possible to figure out if it was an idea worth pursuing. So this took 3 weeks from start to finish. And there's even music on the title screen, which I haven't muted. But this game, you actually manually moved a character around. There's no collision in the world or anything. You got into battles, and again, you manually chose your actions that you wanted to do. And then you eventually lost control of the characters because you got points in this automation skill. So 1/4 of the time now it would choose an action for you. So it didn't choose one there. And it didn't choose one there. And it didn't choose one there either. Anyway, yeah, and you eventually would work your way over to this final boss. That was it. What are the business ambitions for this game? I'm not sure. For right now, I'm so focused on just producing the game and making sure that it would be a game worth selling. I do plan on selling the game, but I don't know how far I want to take it or what level of marketing I want to do yet. I'm trying to take everything kind of one step at a time. And part of the reason for that is I don't want to get overwhelmed, and I'm already like maxed out on how much I can do. So right now we're focusing on a version 0.3, which should launch at the end of September, and it'll be freely available. So you can try it out if you want to. And for that, I've got a bunch of things that I want to make into the game. Hey, unknown. So we've worked on a few things already. I'm working on all the resolution stuff right now. I've been working on a music track for the game. So I've got a decent chunk of the first track done. And yeah, there's just a lot of work to do. And I've been working my way through this giant list. Where is it? Yeah, this list. So what we were on just now is figuring out if any of this could move out of here. And how much of this acts on the instance. We get the slot. We add child to that. And then we call functions in this, which I don't want to have to make another like 4 signals for this. Yeah, plus the equipment system, which we're never adding into the game. I'm just going to leave this. Honestly, even if this can be switched, it's just not important. This just isn't important. Yeah. All right, now let's clean up this issue a tiny bit. We're going to move all the stuff that's done or crossed off to the bottom again. I'm going to eventually make it through this thing. There. All right, let's move the carousel thing down to... All right, figure out whether I need this code. I don't think we do, because I think it's gone, and I don't think we even needed the placeholder anymore. Expand the map a bit so that battle windows don't cover anything important. We have so much blank space at the bottom that I don't think this is going to be a problem. But yeah, battles are now overlaid on top of the map. So it used to be that there was nothing at the bottom beneath all of this, but now there is. And the only way to show you that that's even true is to expand the window. But you can see there are trees here at the bottom that just get covered up by the battle windows. So as long as there's nothing important down there, it doesn't really matter. And there isn't anything important, so it's not an issue. You gonna do any internationalization? I think if the English version does well, then yes. Like, okay, I guess I kind of look at it this way. So game dev is about making the game and then like making the game successful. Making the game is something that is pretty easy to do in isolation. This you can't do in isolation. You need to actually involve other people because people need to buy your game or pay for it somehow. And part of this is there's the marketing, then there's the localization you might do, the porting to other platforms. I've never really made it to this point. So I've marketed a game, I've done some porting and everything before, but it was never for a successful game. So it's hard to know. I mean, if it sells like 20,000 copies on the first day, which I don't think it's going to do, but let's say it did, I'd be like, okay, time to go tackle this stuff, right? Let's make a mobile version. Let's localize it to a bunch of different languages. Yeah, Godot works fine on Mac. All right, show battle placeholder somewhere. Yeah. Figure out what we're even going to do with different resolutions. I guess we're done with that. Make sure there's a minimum window size. Yep. Try to auto-detect the right resolution. We don't need to do anything for that. Fix player-wide skill tree not sizing the background correctly. What even happens with this? I remember there being a bug. I don't remember what it was. It's this thing. Something goes wrong here. Is it when you resize? Ah, yes. It's when you resize the window. So it's always taking up the same proportion of the screen. Or not the screen, sorry. The same proportion of the window. And it shouldn't be. I think that should be easy. There's a panel somewhere. It's this. And layout is set to full rect. But then this is put inside of something else. Town. Scale tree, here it is. I don't understand how it's set to full rect. It shouldn't be an anchor at all, though. We should just set it to custom or nothing. Wait a second, what? I'm a little bit confused. Why can't we change the layout mode? Because it doesn't have a control parent? If we gave it a control parent, I wonder if it would just work. All right, take care, Goldskin. Have a good weekend. You're going to lose out on any of the initial marketing juice if you don't have internationalization by the time you launch. I don't know if there's a significant number of people who only buy games in their non-English native language. I don't know. I feel like there's some work you just wouldn't do if you knew a game wouldn't be successful. Like localization is not something that you just knock out in a weekend. If it were, by the way, I would just launch with localized everything. But like you need to get the translations, which means you need to hire people who can translate, or maybe you go with AI or Google Translate or something at first and hope it's good enough, and then hire players or something like that. I don't know. But yeah, you need to make databases out of all your strings, make sure there's no overlaps or truncations. Hey, Superman. Welcome in. All right, so I'm going to try this. We're going to just put this inside of a control and then see if we can lay this out differently. Yeah, position. Now make this visible. So we would just resize this to be that large and then everything should work. We'll need to access his unique name here and then change whenever we refer to the skell tree, which is just inside of the town. Yeah. Is there anywhere else where this happens? Nope. Pretty much just there. I think that should work. You hear what we're making? Making a game called Skeleseller. There's a little bit more information there in that FAQ. It's 2 releases, so you get double the marketing. No one gets mad if localization doesn't exist. I am very torn on early access because I feel like early access gets abused by so many different games, and I don't think I need early access. I feel like we've been doing early access by launching these checkpoints. Okay, is this working? Yes. Good. So that's it. That's all I needed to do. Then again, I also don't think there's probably too much downside to launching an early access. But I'm going to talk to Ski about all this stuff off stream at some point. Like I said, there is an absurd amount of work left to do. And I'm just focused on the next checkpoint launch. But once we're done with that, I think the next biggest priority is going to be make a Steam page. Yeah. Okay, so this is done. Let's check this in. No longer anchored. Added a control just so that it could be set to a different anchor. And yeah, we're good. All right, so fix Skell tree when resizing window. It used to have its size be based on, be based on anchors. So it would shrink and grow the background in weird ways. Now it's in absolute position. That's going to bite me in the future if we leave it like that, but we're probably not going to leave it like that. All right, fix the bug where screen size is so large that it can't be clamped. Sounds good. See if I can change my monitor's resolution. Oh yeah, I did this, but I never tested it again. So let's pick a small resolution. Here's the smallest one. Are you sure you want to switch this? Some applications may not fit entirely on screen. Let's pick a slightly bigger one than that. Yeah, okay. I don't want to mess up everything. So now the resolution, hopefully OBS has always looked fine for this, but the resolution is now set to, oops, I forgot to hide that again. Yeah, whoops, I gotta check that in. Hang on a sec. Does that work? Just gonna cross this off. Nope. Guess I gotta stage it first. There we go. Okay, so we're in 720p. We should be able to just, play the game. So let's try it. Yeah, I mean, looks good so far. Interesting. Yeah, the battle window takes up a lot of the screen now. And there's no closing it or anything. I don't know about the closing it ever, though. I could see wanting to let players do that when, well, I don't know. I'm not opposed to allowing it at some point. Check if 1x zoom on the instance in this resolution. Yeah, it just won't be centered or anything because it's not as simple as just changing the camera zoom. We can just change the camera zoom. It's not bad in terms of like being able to see stuff. It's just really, really bad in terms of font visibility. But I wonder how much of that is caused by just the outline of the text. Hey, Kaizen. But I'm going to not save this change. Yeah. Anyway, if we add in the other two instances now, yeah. Is there any UI element or dialogue in the game that clarifies that the battles are automated? I don't think so. I think in-game telling you that would have to be... Well, I guess it doesn't have to be anything too in your face. It could be something like, oh, hey, the adventurers will fight for you. You can just sit back and relax. Oh, new keyboard. Wait, when were you last here? No, you were last here in 2 weeks ago. I was going to say, I'm pretty sure I'd seen your name recently. No, this is the same keyboard I was using. I've been using this for like 2 or 3 years now, I think. Maybe camera wasn't showing? It should have been. I don't think I've had it turned off for the last several months. But yeah, anyway, maybe you're just noticing it now. It's totally fine. All right, I am quite happy with this. I cannot wait to see if people are like, yes, all those problems are fixed. Oh, looking good. So did I even just do anything? Or did I just test something? Yeah, I just tested something. Looks good. Don't forget to make resolution settings. I don't even think we need to do this anymore. Oh, only for full screen, probably. Maybe we do need to do that for full screen. I don't know. Did I write that down? I don't think we're going to do that right now anyway. Yeah, this. Let's just file the task now. Whoa, what? It just made the issue? I thought it would let me edit it first. Allow for entering / leaving full screen. We will probably need resolution settings for full screen mode. Could automatically detect which one would be best. Oh, wow. Interesting unknown. Yeah, wow. Is there anything else I want to write for this? No, I think it's fine. I don't want this linked here, though. This is already done. Consider releasing a demo just for the sake of text. I already have this written down somewhere else. See if we need any UI-specific scaling settings. Oh, yeah. Yeah. I wonder how you'd even do that. Sure. But I don't want to do that now. I don't think that's what's most important. File a task to make UI-specific scaling settings. That way people with big monitors or poor vision, I guess, could increase the size of just the UI. I don't know how we would do that. Maybe Godot has a way built in how to scale UI. Did they mention this? I mean, I know about the resizing and everything. I just wonder if there's a way to stretch just the UI. I don't think this talks about it. I've read this page a bunch of times. It's not like I just read it all right now. Control nodes have a scale parameter under the rect tab. All right, let's take a look. Scale. Yeah, they do. So if I said this is like 1.2. Oh, that's very easy. Okay, well, we would need to apply it to everything, but maybe there's a way to change it in the theme itself. Actually, I would expect them to have done that somewhere. Yeah, add that to all controls, I know. But hey, at least it exists. There's a scale parameter on control. Actually, whether or not you notice anything off like that, you should be getting a carbon monoxide detector. Because carbon monoxide kills people, and it's odorless and colorless. So it's not like smoke where you can see and smell it. Wonder if it was just about the level where the alarm doesn't go off. I think they're usually sensitive enough, as long as you have good enough batteries. There actually is another problem though, which is they need to be mounted low enough in your room. Because I think carbon monoxide is denser than air, right? Carbon monoxide, float or sink. Don't need to be installed near the floor. Oh, that's a myth. Interesting. They need to be plugged into an outlet. That's why they are? Okay. Huh, I did not know that. Well, myth busted. Thanks, Google support. It only happened to be a Google support answer because it was for Nest, I guess. I didn't even know Nest detected carbon monoxide. All right, so I think we can finally close this issue. This has been like the oldest issue. Okay, I think this has finally been fixed. All the resolution work that I've been doing. Number 63. I didn't actually push the code, so I guess it's technically not fixed until I do this. Drat. I gotta pull. And I guess rebase my stuff. It shouldn't be, yeah, it shouldn't have any conflicts or anything. I wonder how bad it'd be to find all root control nodes. I think it'd be okay, except for cases where you actually don't want to scale anything. And even that wouldn't be that hard. You could group control nodes that need to be found. In fact, that's probably how we would do it. But like this, for example, this probably never needs to be scaled. Like even if you have a large monitor, these are gigantic buttons. So I think they're fine. But yeah, I'm going to write that down. And we could just add all controls that need to be scaled to a particular group. And then find all nodes with that group in that group. When UI is scaled up too much. I don't think the text should become blurry though. Oh, Mystical Cell, thanks. Welcome back. I appreciate the resub. Happy 2 months. Yeah, I don't think it should start looking bad. We can just test it out though. So we have the in-game menu right there. And I'm gonna put Godot on my other monitor for a second. And I'm gonna scale this up using, where is it? Hang on a second, I lost it. Town menu, here it is. Okay, so we're gonna change the scale of this. I'm gonna set it to 2 and then 5. And yeah, at least the text looks good. I guess there are gonna be problems where we have custom controls that don't probably scale well, but this looks perfectly crisp. So yeah, hopefully it works fine. Oh my God, that's scary, unknown. Yeah. Yeah, every once in a while I hear about someone voicing a concern that just sounded totally innocuous, and yeah, it turned out to be like some severe health problem. How's the vacation? I've got a vacation command about it. Yeah, you can post a link. Sure. All right, see if we can close that. We're done with that. Consider whether we want different layouts based on the resolution. This is still just a consideration for later. I'll just put it in the ideas list. I don't think it's worth acting on. I just want to see how many upvotes this got. 2.9K. Interesting. Yeah, holy macaroni indeed. All right, ideas. Do we have ideas for UI stuff? No. But I'll put this here. Okay. I don't think I'm going to end up doing this. So consider reaching out to Ski to see if these issues were fixed. Oh my God, this looked terrible. Just terrible. Is Ski still there? Ski, you want to run a game later? Okay. Yeah, I'm probably going to contact you this weekend about this. Homework. Contact Ski with a, you use Windows, right? With a Windows version of Skeleseller to test whether these issues are gone. This one and this one. I have a Mac as well. No, it should be fine. Whatever you recorded this on, these pictures, which I'm guessing would have been Windows. Did I do anything that I don't want you seeing? And not even from like a privacy perspective, just from a I don't want you spoiling the game perspective. No, I don't think so. Okay. Yeah, another reason why people shouldn't jump to ghosts as an answer for something. Because Pac-Man already ate all the ghosts. All right, consider reaching out to Confused Quark. I think everything should be okay. I think I should be able to just test all this myself, though. That's the thing. If I just shrink the window to something like this and the game still works, then I think we're fine. The game isn't working. Oh, the game's not working because I need to build the guild. Ooh, I gotta remember that. This button should go away. The fact that it doesn't is a problem. Oh, it's gone now. And what was that about? And what changed here? Anchor preset 15. What? Can I just revert this? Shrek 2. All right, we didn't break this, right? No, we didn't break this. I don't think I'm going to do this. Okay, so we're down to 2 tasks, believe it or not, from this mega list of stuff, which I'm now going to put them both at the top, excuse me, which is all of this stuff. There. And there's actually one other thing we need to do. Although, how is there a problem with that? It's only when I did this that it was a problem. I think we can just fix this right now. Which is what? Create instance? Debug, create instance. What is it called? Ah. Well, that's one of them. Here it is. Okay, what do you do? Started battle.invoke. Okay, we're just going to call show start battle button. It should not be called show start battle button. This should probably be called set battle button visibility. And it should be done anytime we start a battle. Anytime we create an instance. How do we know that we created an instance? We don't have start battle? Huh. I guess because we're told that a battle has started. We do not do the telling. This should just be a single function at this point. Ah, fine. How much time do you dedicate to making to-do lists? A decent amount of time. It's the only way I stay organized. I don't mindfully track these things. It's just how I operate at this point. And if I didn't do this, I would be worried that I'd be losing track of stuff. The problem with doing this is that every to-do list will just sort of naturally grow out of control. And that's even usually with you trying to stop it from growing out of control. And at that point, I always say, remember the 4 Ds. The only way to get things off of your list is either do them, drop them, delegate them to someone else, or defer them for later. Well, this doesn't get them off your list, but you apply one of the other 3 Ds later. And I think this is the very important one, which is you will never get everything done in your life. So just drop things. Otherwise, you'll just track it forever. And you saw me doing that even with this list. There were things I have written here where I'm like, this is just not really worth doing. So I crossed some of these out. I just marked things as some were consider. So technically, by dropping it, I had considered it and checked the box anyway. All right, so what we need is a start battle function, which is dead simple to write. Start battle. And we pass in all of these things. 1, 2, 3. We need a 4th one, right? ID, adventures. Oh, player abilities. Yeah. And then also call set battle button visibility. Can it get just from set? Yes, it can. All right, so now on shows instance party is technically start battle. So then that was it. We just didn't even need to make this function. It's exactly the same as the other one. We just renamed it. That's the longest rename I've ever done. And then there's one other thing. Started battle. Dynaboke. Yeah, this should be start battle. City adventures. Done. All right. I think that'll fix it. I do use C# and Godot. Yeah. Gets overwhelming if you don't have too many bullet points there. But yeah, everyone has their way of doing things. Yeah, I think when it gets to be too many bullet points is when you should start deleting stuff. And if you notice that your list is growing and you can't delete things, like there are tasks that you have in any given day or week that you kind of have to do, right? Things like laundry and trash and whatever, feed yourself. These are things you can't really ignore for too long. So those are the kinds of things I don't even sometimes think are worth adding to a to-do list. But other tasks can be important and they can still be something you can put off. So for example, maybe you need to like renew a registration for something. Yeah, at some point it's going to expire and you'll be in trouble, but you got months. Those are the kinds of things I think are important to look at some point on your to-do list. And that's where dropping all the other stuff really helps. Because then you can actually read the things on your to-do list. Like I do plan on going through this list at some point. In fact, I'll probably have a dedicated stream because most of this is actually one bullet point. All of these things is file these tasks for later somewhere. So that'll probably take a few hours because I'll probably tackle some of the easier tasks right then and there. Yeah, so we were going to test this and I never actually tested it. So now when we click create instance 3 times, the first time shows this button. The third time hides the button. Perfect. And the exact same thing should happen when you click the button yourself. So we start 1 battle, 2, and 3, and it's gone. Perfect. We did it. Fix bug with start battle button. It was still visible even after starting battles through the debug feature. Create instance. Looks good. Looks good. Okay. Oh. So the carousel thing, I think we could maybe hold off on that. How long does it take for a build to cook for you? Not a debug one, but production one. When you say cook, you mean just like export it to my file system? because we can just try it right now. Probably like 15 seconds is my guess. But it's still at 0%. Oh, there it goes. Yeah, it's probably been about 15 so far. So maybe more like 20 or 25. But that was it. And now I can send that to you. Well, I'm not going to do it on stream. But yeah. Roughly 45 to 50 minutes, yeah. Well, this is a very tiny game compared to that. Also, I think just asset-wise, not too crazy. Once I add in 2 soundtracks, it'll be probably like triple the size of the assets that we have so far. All right, I kind of want to push these things to some other task. The carousel feature, I'm just still a little bit torn on this. Like, let's say you have a really small game window. Excuse me. You have a small game window and you have 3 battles going. It's not obvious that you have other battles off the side of the screen. So it would be nice if you could see them. And I guess it would be nice if you could rearrange them. I mean, you can rearrange them. It'd be nice if you could know that you could do that. I think what we should do is... No, we'll just need to code it properly. I'm not doing this now, though. I'm definitely not doing this now. So yeah, I think we need to take the rest of the issues out of here. All right, so take the rest of the issues out of there and put them somewhere else. And then the next thing we could tackle will be add end of battle stats. What is this task? Add the duration of battle, the average DPS, the average remaining life percent. This should be pretty easy. Well, except for DPS. How don't we do DPS? I guess we know the duration of the battle and we know your total damage dealt, then it's dead simple to calculate. So yeah, never mind. Not that hard. It's not like it's a live measure of it. Just keep track of total damage dealt by player characters and divide by the total duration of the battle. I don't even know where we're going to render this. That's probably the harder part of this. We have this much space. And if you turn on auto battle, then you have a bar down there. So I guess we'd have to put it at the bottom. Although the only reason you even could put it at the bottom is because we don't have a million items up here. Oh, but I think this is a scroll container already, which I wonder how that works now that I have another scroll container. Where do we give ourselves a million items? Instance data? Yes. So instead of 1 to 3 potions, let's give ourselves 300 potions. Yeah, it's a single save file, but we're going to add auto saving at some point. All right, time to give myself a ton of potions. So, oh yeah, this just works. But now there's no space for any battle stats. So I'm going to take a picture of this really fast. Cool, got it. And we're going to put this into that issue. Note, this is what the battle window looks like when you get tons of loot. So I don't know where stats are going to go. Maybe we should remove a row from the loot window. Yeah, what are the odds that you're going to be finding that much loot from any battle anyway? Maybe at the end of the game you will. But still, as long as it's obvious that you can scroll this, and it is, I think it should be fine. I'm feeling pretty good. Every time I look at the text and I'm like, wow, you can actually read it. I'm like, that represented a lot of work. Because look at this. This is what things used to look like for some people. And possibly still do. We're going to find out tonight. All right, so definitely don't check this in. But push the one change I did make. And yeah, I think we're pretty good. Nice. Okay, well, I'm going to hang out for a little bit here. But I think that's it for working for today because it's been, what, 6 hours? Yeah. Man, but yeah, I'm feeling good. What was I going to say? Oh, yeah. News. So these are the upcoming dates. And the first one is tomorrow. These are localized, by the way, if you go to Discord. But yeah, let's see. 18 hours from now, Altman will be streaming on their Twitch channel, the open sourcing of Botland. So if you're interested in watching that, check it out. The other things are all on my channel. It's mentoring and interviewing. And the mentoring is going to be in both directions. So I'm going to be mentoring Rami and Kyle. And then on Wednesday, September 11th, Funky Monkey's going to be mentoring me about the UI and UX of Skeleseller. So we're going to take a look at this. He's really smart. He knows what he's talking about when it comes to UI and UX. He has designed a couple of the things for me before, like Homepagerizer. So this UI is something he's done. All of Adam Learns, like the whole site. And I am very happy with all of that work. And then, and he also made the points page. And like, I feel like the amount that it takes to get to be really good at this is something I'm not planning on doing, but I want to learn how to not be terrible. I read a book called Refactoring UI, which was UX design for developers. And that really was pretty great. And I think I even took notes on it. Refactoring. Oh, I didn't make the notes public because it's basically like the entire book. Yeah. How much did you use to work at Google? How much of what did I use? Or do you mean how long did I work at Google for? I worked at Google for about 3 years. Want to see the Jump Royale bots and the PR? I'm going to hold off on that for a bit, but I do want to take a look at it. Actually, you know what? How about this? Let's go take a look at the PR. If it's inside the PR itself and I don't even need to download anything, then yeah, I definitely do want to take a look. They didn't really bother doing is putting the bots somewhere outside of the arena class. Interesting. Cool that you got that. I think the only thing we should do, and I'll probably do this, is make this a rich text label and use different colors. So the J30 is in blue, and then OR is in gray, and then R30 is in blue. And here I would just write U. I wouldn't do the UU thing. And then yeah, J-45 is in blue, and then L45 is in blue. How many hours per day? Yeah, I think it started as about 40 hours per week. It probably ended as closer to like 35-ish hours per week, something like that. Yeah, that stream is going to be great. What this reminds me of quite a lot is, where did I do this? Adam Learns NES. When I was learning NES ROMs, which I'm not going to be able to find quickly, but anyway, it's somewhere in here. Yeah, Zorkenheimer was teaching me, and he put a lot of effort into that. And it was amazing. And I felt like Keanu Reeves in The Matrix, where he's learning all the different fighting styles when he first gets into The Matrix. I was just like learning everything. And then the next few days I got to apply that knowledge, and it was great. So this is going to be good for two reasons. One, he's not only teaching me, but two, it's directly teaching me on Skeleseller. So whatever we learn or do or he tells me about, I can just immediately apply. Like 9 to 5, I guess. Oh yeah. Yeah, that was the general hours, or like 8 to 4 or something like that. Yeah, I have produced a lot of content, but it's not really easy to find, and it's not really all that visible. It's like, I know I stopped producing YouTube videos regularly, but I've been producing content for a while now, and it's at 2,500 subscribers on YouTube, and I don't think that's representative of the sort of views I get, which is much lower than that. I kind of want to do a push for that at some point. I'm torn because I mentioned this at the beginning of the morning stream. I have these tenets for a reason. And the most important one, the one that's had a star next to it forever, has been sustainability. And I've thought about, okay, what if I just started streaming again Tuesdays and Thursdays? And I thought, I think that'll put a dent in the sustainability of all of this. But I think I want to give it a shot at least. What was worth holding off on the carousel and whatnot until after that stream may change your direction completely. That's true. It might. Yeah. I was thinking if the carousel stuff takes like an hour, it's probably worth doing, even if it ends up changing later. But yeah, if it's going to take like 3 hours of struggling, it's probably not worth it. Lunch is free. So I was a salaried employee, which means if I got my work done and everyone was happy, then it didn't really matter if it took 1 hour or 14 hours. Well, it probably mattered if it took 14 hours, but it didn't change your pay or anything. I'm not going to be streaming for too much longer, Crows. How often do I stream per week? My schedule is Monday, Wednesday, Friday. I try to get to 6 hours per day. And since I take a lunch break, that means that each stream usually ends up being about 3 hours. Although sometimes it's weighted like it is today, where it's 4 hours in the morning and 2 hours in the afternoon. But when I started streaming, I was streaming 8 hours per day, 4 times a week. And that was my like absolute limit. That was very tough to do. But I don't think I was taking very frequent breaks. I think that plays a role in this. That's pretty funny, Unknown. That could probably work too. But this plays into like, when I think of what are my overarching goals, I think it truly is what I had the mission statement, which was learn, make, inspire, and have fun. And I think it was in a different order, but the order didn't matter. This is what I want to do. I want to make sure I'm not stagnating. I want to actually make things. I want to inspire other people, and I want to have fun while I'm doing it all. And I feel like I'm hitting those goals right now. So then I think, okay, do I need more viewers? Do I need more money or subscribers or something? And I don't think the answer to any of that is yes, which is why I haven't changed anything. But the simplest change I could probably make and get more viewers is just not end my stream in the morning and just take my lunch break and have a 20-minute BRB screen or something. Yeah, with consistency, I think this could happen, but I don't really think it does all the time. I streamed very consistently for like 5 years. And it's not like my view count was nothing, but it's not like it, skyrocketed. I think if you want to grow as a streamer, I think you need to, at least on Twitch, you need to pull in other platforms. So the people who grow on Twitch are probably in categories where they're actual just viewers hanging out. And I think if you were to go to like, let's take a look right now. If you were to go to whatever category I'm streaming in, yeah, it has 1.7 thousand viewers right now. Meanwhile, if you go to, I don't know, I don't even follow any popular games, do I? I don't. But if you go to some of the top channels, the games themselves probably have like 40,000 viewers or something. Do you know Casey Muratori's series? Yeah, I'm aware of it. And I think he started it back when I was streaming originally. And I don't really tend to watch Twitch anymore. So I don't catch a lot of this stuff. And that's another part of this is like, if you're not watching other streams, it's hard for you to network with other streamers. And, like the last time I was rated by somebody was probably weeks ago at this point. I'm just not part of the ecosystem right now. That's why I appreciate everyone who's here and everyone who's been watching for years. It's nice. I appreciate streaming. Yeah, I think to boost the chances of the once in a whiles are really to just pull in other stream or other platforms. And I think YouTube is a big one. I think TikTok is a big one. Yeah, I think those are the, well, it's not like YouTube's the biggest streaming platform. I think TikTok's the biggest streaming platform, but YouTube's the biggest like pre-recorded videos platform. Yeah, Kip Boger raised me. Yeah, and I definitely appreciate that. I appreciate the raids even from smaller folks too. And I'm not saying that there's a problem, I guess. Yeah. Yeah, TikTok is huge. Yeah, I'm just very anti-TikTok. I feel like once I started trying to tamp down how much I'm consuming social media, I really became aware of how much some of my friends or acquaintances use it. And I sometimes see the negative effects that it has in such a real way, but the person doesn't see it necessarily. Like, I have a friend who, I'm not going to like go into specifics. I don't think they even watch me, but they're really struggling right now with their perception of themselves. And they use social media a lot, like to the point where if you're hanging out with them, they'll like take a picture and then post it on Instagram while you're still hanging out with them, which to me is a little bit rude. But anyway, I think their perception of themselves is so altered by the positive things they see from other people on social media. Where else you get your daily dose of brain rot? I mean, I still watch a lot of YouTube, but it's like curated stuff that I want to watch. It's a lot of Hearthstone content, a lot of StarCraft, a lot of Smash, and then some like comedy sketches. So I subscribe to a lot of channels and I end up watching it a lot. And the other brain rot has been Nonograph's Katana. I play way too much of that. And yeah, the marketing potential, I agree. And this is something that I'm torn about because, like I said, I recognize the impact that it has on other people. So should I use a tool that I think is largely negatively affecting others, even if I'm not using it for negative impact? And CM Griffin said a while ago, like, hey, I should consider LinkedIn. LinkedIn was another platform. I strongly disliked LinkedIn. I have so many problems with it. And he convinced me to actually give it a shot and post my videos there. And I did for a little bit, and I never really tried growing it or anything. And I got like 7 views on my videos. And I was just like, I just, this is so against what I stand for. So I am hampering myself by not using these platforms. And I recognize that. And that's where I said, like, what are my goals? And my goals are still being met. So yeah, I think I just need a completely different mindset if I'm going to try to grow at all costs. That would be a solution, to turn the negative thing into something that's not negative, right? Yeah, I don't think it's possible to change. I don't want to go into like a huge discussion about this, but I don't think it's possible to get TikTok to be healthy by producing healthy content for it. Pay someone a small amount to post them for you on TikTok. That way it's not you doing it. Yeah, and I'm not so opposed to posting videos there, just like how I wasn't so opposed to making LinkedIn and posting videos there. I think it's more that in order to understand the sort of meta around TikTok, I would probably need to consume it. And I don't want to do that. I think short form content will always be bad for people's attention span. I think so too. And I think, you know, there's been a rise of ADHD. In fact, I want to do some research on this. Not necessarily due to an increase in the actual prevalence, likely greater access to healthcare, reduced stigma around mental health. Or last 2 decades, rate of ADHD in American adults has increased from 6% to 10.2%. Yeah. I mean, 10% for anything that affects every part of your life is to the point where it's like, okay, you know people who have this. And I don't think it's that rare to say that someone knows someone who has ADHD or that they have ADHD. But I feel like it's got to at least be influenced to some extent by short form media. And I don't know enough about that to confidently conclude that. So I want to research more about it. Because they say it's not due to an increase in the actual prevalence of the disorder. Although I would be kind of surprised if there wasn't an increase. Hey, Hydro. I'll just ask unknown for all my titles. Yeah, one thing I do want to get back to at some point is the kind of videos I was producing for the Adam Learns channel. This was long form content, and interviews I'm going to naturally produce, so that's fine. But these sorts of videos, like rapid prototyping, designing automated games, none of these videos really did well, but they were the kind of content I'd want to produce. So I'll probably do some more of that at some point. I'm just very, very focused on Skeleseller right now. So that's another reason why I'm looking forward to all of these pieces of content. I've been enjoying the interviews. I think they've been really good. And I think if I were to try to grow anything, it'd be the interviewing stuff. Like, it's fun interviewing people. It's fun thinking on your feet and really having to pay attention to what people say and entertain an audience. And also, I'm just kind of interested in what people have to talk about. I think more people search for a label, how they're feeling, and this is why it's increased. Yeah, I think there are a lot of reasons for an increase in diagnoses. And especially with something like this, and especially with something that doesn't have a gigantic stigma around it, it's like if you said you were depressed to somebody, that has a certain connotation to it, and it changes the tone of a conversation. And I don't think that means you shouldn't talk about depression or anything. I think there's more of a stigma around that than ADHD, for example. And actually, this is one of the things that I don't think Melmsy gave me a blurb for the interview, but I think we're going to end up talking about ADHD in that interview. And I'm interested to hear where that goes. But that's why I got to do some more research on it too, if I'm going to talk about it. Never seen any of those mentoring sessions. How does it work? Is it some friend you help with something, or is it a service? So I got an FAQ here, and it also has the schedule, and the schedule is a set of links to all of the past sessions. So if you want to just quickly check out one of them, you can just click any of these links and find out. The way that it was set up, though, I don't want to make you go searching for all the answers. I asked like 2.5 years ago, hey, is anyone interested in live mentoring? And 6 people said yes. And I just wrote their names down. And then when I finally decided I wanted to set up those sessions, I contacted those 6 people. And the ones who were still interested and who followed up, they just became mentees. So we've done many, many sessions at this point. I've done a total of, what is that, like 18, 19, I think. And they're all free for the mentees. They're free to watch. When I hit 9 sessions with everyone, I'm going to end this series and then try to figure out what I'm going to do. And I'm still very torn on that because it's not a trivial amount of input from my end. Like, each session is an hour. So I've spent something like 19 hours, but that's just the session. Then there's the prep for it. There's the scheduling. There's the making a video about it. There's whatever other stuff I need to do for it. So it's a significant amount of time input for me. And it's not like the videos are doing well. This is the story of my life, is I put in tons and tons of time to things and then they just kind of stagnate. But yeah, if you sort by popular here, for whatever reason, this one got more views than the other ones. But they're all kind of hovering around like 30 to 50 views. Yeah. And I'm not trying to market them any better. What do I teach in the mentor sessions? Hey, Blades, oh, Doom. I mostly, so I say it's career mentoring, but we end up talking about a lot of different things usually, because I feel like you can't treat anything in just isolation. So like, what's going on in your personal life a little bit, and what are your aspirations, and what are the circumstances at work right now. So I'd say the majority of the focus is typically on career or something. Yeah, typically career. And these are people who are in software roles. Yeah, I haven't tried YouTube Shorts. I wanted to give that a shot at some point. I just never actually took the plunge. I don't watch YouTube Shorts either. This is another problem. I like producing content that I don't like consuming. Oh, man. Yeah. Just do a lot of unusual stuff, I guess. I wish I booked for a session when I had first started my job, or before starting it. Yeah, The people I'm mentoring are not very junior in their careers. I don't remember how many years of experience the one of the fewest years has, but I think it's like 5 years. But yeah, I think it would be kind of interesting to have a mentee who is new to software engineering. Do I watch long form content? I do tend to watch long form content. The main media I consume is on YouTube, and then I guess Netflix to some extent. And on Netflix, I like starting shows and then never finishing them. I also like watching everything at faster than 1x speed. So if a platform doesn't allow that, then I get frustrated. The latest thing I've been doing actually has been listening to the whole Harry Potter series. And I have a couple of conclusions from this. One is Jim Dale, the narrator, is amazing. It's just absolutely incredible. Two is that J.K. Rowling really did do a good job. There's a reason why she's a multi-billionaire or whatever right now. Netflix allows 1.5x. I have not checked out Delicious in Dungeon, but my wife and I haven't watched any of the shows or movies that we've wanted to watch. We've just been sort of too busy for the last 2.5 months. So it is still on my to-do list. It is like item number 7 or something. Anyway, the other thing is that she did a lot of like nice little writing things that I'm trying to absorb. As I was reading these books, or listening, I guess, I'm almost at the end of book 6. I saw some tropes that she does quite a lot, and I ended up writing, I think it was a 2,800 word short story about the first book, which if anyone's interested in, I don't mind sharing. It's very goofy. It's just a satire on the first book. Wanted to flex some writing muscles. Anyway, I'm probably gonna get going. Let me see if I can find someone to raid. College for software engineering full-time. You're doing game dev for fun. Taking care of my first baby, working part-time. That is quite a lot that you're doing, Blades of Doom. I think it can be hard to manage all of that. Have a to-do list and then it becomes so big I need to split it somehow, but then there's too many lists and I'm lost and I need to delete a lot. How'd you solve that? I think it's important to keep track of to-do lists separately. So have a work to-do list separate from your personal to-do list. And my personal to-do list is organized in terms of like what's going to happen, what's my like daily stuff. So for example, Wednesday may say something like take out the trash and work out, something like that. And Thursday may be something like finish the feature I started and whatever, something like that. And then the backlog. And the backlog is things like watch Delicious in Dungeon, whatever, a bunch of other things. And then every once in a while, it's go through your list and see what is accumulated that doesn't make sense any longer. Convert things into calendar tasks that you can't do yet. So for example, one of the backlog things was like buy the new Zelda game. Well, I looked at the time and there were no deals on it to pre-order it. And the game's not even out yet. So what I did is I converted it to a calendar reminder for a week before it launches. So that way it's not on my to-do list anymore. So I think this is all part of just organizing your life. And I want to make a course on this at some point and charge a whole bunch of money because I think I have a lot of advice to give on this. I think a lot of people could benefit from it. Over time, you move things from backlog into a day. Yeah, generally. Or over time, a lot of those backlog things are just things that I can't really drag myself to do. And that's where body doubling is really helpful. Like call a friend up or be on Discord or something like that and just have someone else there. Call them over to your house or your apartment or whatever. And just the presence of somebody else and you setting out to do a task can be really, really powerful. Yeah, the 4Ds are important as well. Yeah. Do, drop, delegate, and defer. And most people for the personal life don't have this as an option. Delegate. Like, who are you going to delegate? Take out the trash to? Maybe your significant other. But generally, you're doing most of your personal to-do list yourself. So that's why I say the most important thing is the drop part. All right. Come to my house, take out my trash. All right, I'm going to raid Irish John. And I'm going to get going. I'll be back on Monday. Hope you've all enjoyed the stream. I am very happy with the progress. Back from vacation, back in the swing of streaming again. So yeah, have a good rest of your day. Have a good weekend, and I'll see you on Monday. Bye, everyone.